Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is 6 o'clock, so the work session for mayor and council for December 16th is called to order. Ms. Hood, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Butler, council members, and city manager. This is the roll call for December the 16th, 2024 work session meeting. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James,
Present.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Present.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. The consent agenda. Has everyone reviewed the consent agenda, and is there anything that the council desires to add or delete from tonight's consent agenda? All right, not hearing any. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James,
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells, Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So with the agenda, is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you all very much. New business, council discussion and approval of a board appointment. Background and history. Throughout the course of the year, there are various board appointments that come up. Staff is seeking the following board appointments. The Downtown Development Authority, which the appointee, Nashay Jones, her term expires on December 19th, 2024. And the new term will expire on December 19th, 2028. And so Ms. Jones has decided not to seek reappointment. The notice has been posted and has gone out to the governing body members. And there's only one name that has been submitted thus far. And unless there's any further discussion on it, I would like the council to consider appointing Ms. J. Evans. And Councilwoman James, questions or comments?
No, I think she's a great choice.
Councilman Gutierrez?
No, I'm happy that she's gonna honor us.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wells?
No, thank you.
And Councilman Mears?
Oh, ma'am, thank you.
All right, thank you. Council discussion and approval for Clayton County Board of Elections to conduct any and all elections for the city. Background and history. In keeping with the approach endorsed by the governing body last year, staff is recommending that Clayton County be entrusted with overseeing the election process. As a city manager is the sole role is the certified election superintendent currently on staff. I believe that delegating this responsibility to Clayton County will ensure the highest standard of electoral integrity, while also mitigating any potential conflicts of interest that could arise from his direct involvement in the election process. Furthermore, the associated costs will be minimal and comparable to those agreed upon last year when the county was approved to manage the election, although that election did not ultimately take place. The city clerk will retain responsibility for managing the qualifying process for candidates, as has been standard protocol in past elections. And Mr. Clark, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, ma'am. Governing body members, to the mayor's point, which was read in the agenda summary, we are seeking to move forward with finalizing a memorandum of agreement similar to what we executed last year for the election, which we ended up not having to have it because there was no opposition. We feel this is a better way to go. And again, it was approved last year. We just did not have the election. And so essentially, the process will be the same as I explained last year. Our municipal clerk will still serve as the qualifying officer for the election, hence qualifying all of the candidates, and we'll work to firm up the actual cost with the county.
Thank you. Councilwoman James, questions or comments? Councilman Gutierrez?
No.
Councilman Wells?
No.
And Councilman Mears?
Oh, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Item 6, council discussion to issue a call for the special election to fill a vacancy for Ward 2. Background and history. City Council member Antoine Dabuz's seat became vacant on September 23rd, 2024. A special election will be held on March 18th, 2025 to fill this vacancy. Immediately after his resignation, council voted pursuant to the charter to hold a special election in March of 2025. The purpose of this resolution is to issue the official notice of the election as well as fix a published said qualifying fee for the municipal office to be filled during the special election. As with previous years, staff is recommending a 3-day qualifying period commencing on the period Monday through Wednesday in accordance with the official election calendar issued by the Secretary of State. Mr. Clark, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, ma'am. Again, just for clarity, when we heard this item immediately following the resignation of former council member Anton, we only decided on when we wanted to have the election pursuant to our charter. This is the actual call for the election that has to be published by state law, I believe, by February 2nd or February 3rd of 2025.
Questions or comments? Councilwoman James,
No questions.
Councilman Gutierrez, Councilwoman Wells?
No.
And Councilman Mears.
Mayor Butler, one of the things I would like to add, this election will be held in March. The Secretary of State always publishes an annual calendar for all of the different election cycles. Our clerk has reached out to them, and that schedule for next year has not been published yet, but we anticipate that qualifying is going to be around February 3rd. Was that the date? February 3rd, 4th? February 3rd, 4th, and 5th of 2025. We're keeping it to 3 days. You have 5 days that you can do, but I think with the history of this city, we've always done 3 days of qualifying, so it'll be a quick turnaround, more so than what you're accustomed to when we have the November election. Qualifying is usually in August with a November election, but this one, because it's a special, that qualifying period will be much shorter. Well, the time between the qualifying period and the actual election.
To clarify, so the resolution says March 3rd. So when if approving this in regular session, we would just need to clarify that that's February, not March.
Okay,
Qualification.
I think it's gonna be in March,
okay,
because last year was in March.
okay. My apologies. I think I said February.
Yeah.
It's definitely March.
Okay, all right. So qualification would be March 3rd, 2025. That's a Monday through Wednesday, March 5th.
But the election is March 18th.
Yeah, that's how it works.
You can't qualify after the election. Wait, when are you saying qualifying?
The election is
Yeah,
actually,
March, and then the election itself is the 18th.
Like 2 weeks later.
if
But
that
that's
is
the
the date.
calendar was
If
posted
that is the-
last year,
yeah,
we
it
don't
was-
know
So can we
exactly
get that
what's gonna be
before we
this
try to vote on it? Can you double check that? That
So
just doesn't
wh-
seem.
what we wanted to do, again, that's why I made the point at the beginning. The Secretary of State hasn't published the calendar, and what we were going off of last year,
Last year's calendar.
when there was a special election, well, the March elections, the qualifying was the beginning of March.
Yeah.
And so, again, we won't know for sure until the Secretary of State publishes the election, and we can't alter the dates. The only thing we can alter is whether it's 3 days or 5 days for qualifying.
That March for the May election? Didn't it have one in May?
I don't think qualifying.
Let us confirm.
Okay,
But I know the calendar is not posted, correct?
no, it's not posted yet.
And so essentially, to move this along with the notice that has to be
Mhm.
published, essentially, this resolution speaks to the call for the election based upon the prescribed time that the Secretary of State issues the publishing. And we're proposing 3 days on that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that week when the state publishes that the qualifying period will be for 2025 for the March election.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Item 7, council discussion of budget amendment for general fund and special revenue. Background and history. The City of Forest Park's fiscal year 24-25 operating budget was unanimously adopted by the City Council on June 26, 2024. Prior to the adoption of the budget, city staff advised that funding and revenues would continuously be monitored for accuracy and reporting purposes. Staff is recommending that the understated funds be added to the operating budget for general fund, special funds, capital funds, city authorities, and sanitation year-end closure procedure for the annual audit, which will increase and/or decrease the current revenues to amend the decrease and/or increase of expenditures. Once the funds have been added to the operating budget, it is also recommended that the City Council approve a budget amendment to accurately reflect the corrected operating revenue budget amount for the general fund, which is $42,665,374, and the special fund in the police department and $418,000 for fiscal year 24-25. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and City Manager. Uh, Let's see. This correction for the budget amendment, it will increase the stated general fund revenue previously adopted on June 26, 2024, from 41.9 to 42.7, and increase the expenditures from 42.1 to 42.7. Also, with the special funds for the police, on the police side, the revenues previously reported at 8,000 will increase to 118,000. This also will improve the city's audit finding for the next fiscal year for the general fund and as well as the special funds. Now, with that being said, this basically will, what I'm doing here is I'm basically adding like 597,966 from the revenue to amend the budget. At the same time, I will be transferring 436,781 to the fleet department for gas from other various departments that have gas account lines in their budget. So we'll be moving those amounts over to the fleet so we can take care of the gas for the rest of the year. And also with the move from the revenue, that's from some of the overage to this particular period, is some overage revenue, and that's where we're getting the we're able to move the 597,000. Also, with the special funds, we started the year out, we budgeted for like 8,000, but now with the need of some training for the police department, and this is and with this particular special fund for the police, they're able to do that. So we're gonna increase it so about $110,000 so they can be able to do some training. And with that being said, staff is asking for you to amend the budget for all revenues and expenditures.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman James,
No questions?
Councilman Gutierrez,
Thank you.
Councilwoman Wells,
No, thank you.
and Councilman Mears.
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Item 8, council discussion of ordinance requiring city employees to resign upon qualifying for office. Ward 1, Councilmember Kimberly James. Huh? Okay, background and history. The requested ordinance has been prepared to adopt and clarify the regulations concerning city employees as candidates for municipal office. The proposed ordinance mandates that upon qualifying as a candidate for the specified elected offices, the employee must resign from employment. Qualification for office shall be presumed whenever an employee files a candidacy application and pays any related application fees. Councilwoman James, any questions or comments?
No.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Nope.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes. I mean, I know and I spoke to Attorney McCarty about this as well. I just think is whatever y'all decide to do this, whatever y'all decide to do. But I think it's more personal than it is business. Because if I can remember, I think we had another employee that was running, but it was against Councilman Mears and not Councilwoman James. And so now I just think it's all personal. So we want to put policies in place for our personal gain, and forcing the employee to resign because they want to do a better job. I don't think that's okay. But whatever y'all decide.
Councilman Mears?
No, I don't have any questions. I think, contrary to Ms. Wells, it's worked good in the past for ever 10 years, how long I've been involved, and it just seems to be less complicated we move forward with that agenda item.
Madam Mayor.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
do want to say one thing. I just want to make it clear that the policy in the past has been that you did have to resign. In fact, the person that was running for councilman decided that he was going to run for Ward 5, did find out that he had to resign and he withdrew his position. So this is not nothing new. It's just that because it's a gray area in the policy, we want to make it clear because for whatever reason this year, it's an issue. So it is standard policy that we've always had. So just wanted to make that clear. Thank
Councilman
you.
Gutierrez?
No, that was it. I just had a question because I remember that instance. So I thought this was already the policy. So what are we changing or what are we voting on, Attorney Metricardi?
So this is codifying that policy. So that was pretty much, I think that was the typical practice. But looking at the personnel handbook and your ordinances, it's not referenced. So this doesn't just apply to municipal elections. It applies to county elections if it's a full-time, like for sheriff, if it's a full-time position, then that would apply, or a federal position. It's not just limited to municipal. And it's essentially to prevent any type of conflict of interest with their day-to-day activities as an employee.
So we're just adding a further description of it, but this is common practice in everywhere else.
Most municipalities have it codified in their code of ordinances. And so, yes, this is just putting it to paper.
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody have a copy of the policy that was in place already?
No. We haven't been able to locate it. And I think that was where Attorney Carter was going, codifying a practice that's been in place, just never been deduced to writing.
So technically, it hasn't been in place if it's nowhere to be found. That's just what we were going along with.
Correct. It was a practice, yes, ma'am. It wasn't a policy.
All right. Well, that is it for the work session. We do have to go into executive session for personnel, litigation, real estate, or legal matters. So is there a motion for such?
So moved.
Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Wells. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Into our work session.
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Let's see. All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And it is 7:02. And the regular meeting for mayor and council for December 16th is called to Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you now for this time of gathering, and this time of meeting together. And God, while we're praying, while we're in this moment, let me just take this liberty to say thank you for keeping us from January up until this present moment. All of the challenges, the hurdles, the setbacks, whatever we had to endure, God, you brought us here, and we say thank you. Now, Lord, we invoke your presence here tonight in this meeting. Help us to accomplish everything that needs to be accomplished tonight for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's see. The adoption of the consent agenda. Once again, is there anything off of the regular agenda that the council desires to add or delete onto the consent agenda?
Roll call, Madam Mayor, roll call.
Oh, we sure did not. Roll call, Ms. Hood. Sorry.
Roll call for December 16, 2024, regular meeting, Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James,
Present.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Present.
Councilmember Akins Mayor.
Here.
Wells. Councilmember Akins Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Now, the adoption of the consent agenda. Is there a motion for such?
So move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James,
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Now, with the adoption of the agenda, I am going to make the request to add the confirmation of our Public Works Director. That will be item number 12. So is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda with the addition of the confirmation of our Public Works Director?
Madam Mayor, I believe the request is to have it up at the top. At the top of the agenda instead of the bottom of the agenda?
I'm adding to the bottom.
Okay, all right, so move.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. The approval of the minutes from our December 2nd meeting. Has everyone had the opportunity to review them? And if so, are there any changes to be recommended?
Madam Mayor, make a motion that we approve.
Thank you. That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilman Gutierrez. Is there any discussion? All right, Ms. Hood?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Hood, can you please read the disclaimer for our public comments?
per the charter, section 2-1-7, rules of procedure and decorum. Comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes per speaker. 21 minutes are allotted in total. Members of the public are not allowed to participate in any debate or discussion conducted by the governing body members. All public comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over which the governing body has jurisdiction. Each speaker must maintain a decorous demeanor refrain from personal attacks upon members of the governing body or employees, shouting and using obscene language. All questions and comments shall be directed to the presiding officer. Members of the governing body may respond to the comments during their closing comments if they desire.
All right, thank you so much. We have two that have signed up for tonight's public comments, and the first is Mr. Carl Evans.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager.
Good evening.
I want to start off with thanking the mayor for mentioning all the hard work and everything that Sandra did to bring that MARTA facility here. It's very much appreciated, and because I know that quite often people don't get the recognition that they deserve for the hard work that y'all all do out here and from time to time, and I thank you for that. Also, I want to mention that through all the work that I've done here in the past 7 or 8 months with our animal control and everything else, I've come to learn that there's absolutely nothing available to people that the poor, the disabled, elderly, anybody that cannot care for their fur babies, to be able to surrender them. There's nothing available. The county is absolutely useless. Of course, Clayton County is horribly mismanaged anyway, but all of these facilities, they all say, oh yeah, we could come get you. You can bring them to us and we can do this, that, the other. But then when you ask them, well, what if you can't bring them? Well, we can't do anything about it, and we need to be proactive rather than reactive. I would like for us to be the first ones to come up with some kind of program that can help the people that y'all are sworn to serve. And it would be real nice. We've got all these things in the works, but most everything we've got going on is stuff that has already been initiated somewhere else, and things we're just following along with them. But I would love to see us be in the forefront of something like that and actually help people, just like the homeless. There's nothing to help the homeless around here. We got one shelter in Clayton County. I mean, it's unacceptable. And so I would love to see us be able to find some way to do something. I mean, we already have the equipment in place. They've got the trucks, they've got manpower, we've got the things we could do to come pick things up, take them up and take them and surrender them or find an organization somewhere that could help. But there's nothing in place that the average person can find. Most of them don't even call you back or respond to an email or anything else. It's just, so I would just love to see something happen to help the underprivileged and like I said, the disabled and elderly and things that can't help themselves. Thank you.
Yeah. Ms. Falami.
Good afternoon, and season greeting to you all. I stand before you to really just have a piggyback moment on the agenda, and that is about our election that is going to be coming up in March. The state has a regulation, and it's your duty to the candidates to have that in place without having any question, because we have delegation members here, we have state facility that will answer the question that you may not have an answer to. And any candidate is running for a position should know the municipality administration of the government initiative is that you cannot run for a position if you are a state government employee. Now I'm finished with that. Congratulations to the young men who won their championship on the soccer through the Leisure Center. Big kudos to you. Many of them are scholars. I want to give that shout out before I start to go. I noticed I haven't been here. I normally stop, as you all noticed, that I don't come in October. I'm done with y'all till next year. But nevertheless, I came today because I've been going to the Leisure Center for over 26 years, volunteering my precious and good time. And I noticed in the rain, the snow, and the sleet, she don't know me. We don't have personal relationship. But this lady walks and brings something in her hand over here every day at the closing of operation. I cannot understand why Human Resource doesn't have a golf cart or even a car for them to do their transportation. I would greatly appreciate. I heard everybody got a car except for human resource, and I'm going to advocate that. We had fleets that was sold. We could have kept one. I don't think it need to be a sheriff entity because they have to go to hearings. They have to network for our city workers, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to give a car to someone, look at HR, and they don't know me. We don't have personal relationship, but I've been watching her walk for a long time. Now we getting ready to go over into 2025, a brand new year. I hope to see each and every one of you return back. But I can promise you all, if we can't get on one car, there will be changes in this room. We are here to be about our people job. That's each and every one of us in this room. We have accountability. We have to have the responsibility about the citizen of this great city. Population been said 19. I read that point, and I think it's 21. So everybody's having some child that hasn't been through the census. We got a census in 10 more years. I'm rushing through this because I want to get there through it. Again, I'm going to let my last remark be great. Congratulations, young men. Remember, Coach Fulani said, good job, or you cannot play sports. Thank you, parents. Thank you, Coach.
City Manager's report, Mr. Clark.
Yes, ma'am, Mayor and Council. First, the moment that I know all of our directors have been waiting for is the announcement of the winner of our holiday tree decorating contest. And so, governing body members, I'd like to first acknowledge our winner with a drum roll, and our first place winner would be the Municipal Court Services Department. So if you look on the screen, we'll play a short video of the tree that the municipal court did. Miss Dorothy Roper Jackson is the court administrator for the city of Forest Park. The top of the tree says court.
That's a driver's license.
What you'll notice, she did driver's license for all of the council members, as well as the judge, the solicitor, and myself. We will give these driver's license to the various council people, and we just ask that you don't try to use them. So let's give it up again for our municipal court department for their tree. And then because it was such a good contest, we are accustomed that IT was the winner last year. But this year, I have to say, our senior services really stepped up and did an amazing tree where they collectively all worked on it together. It just wasn't one senior. They did multiple trees, and each of the ornaments represented a different person in this community, those that are still alive and those that have gone on before us. And then last but certainly not least, we had to have a blooper. So while they may be good at softball, they're not good at Christmas trees. So this video shows the fire department invited me in to see their tree, but the lights would not work.
Caught us off guard.
Fire hazard.
Oh, no.
So again, thank you to everyone that participated. Council, we'd also like to recognize we have a new member of our team here with us tonight with Ms. Scott. So Ms. Scott, our supervisor over code enforcement, if you would introduce the new employee in code enforcement. And then last but certainly not least, we have our director of recreation and leisure who has some amazing news about our local soccer team.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, City Manager. I'd like to introduce you to our new Code Enforcement Office, Code Compliance Officer, Jesus Carranza.
Welcome.
And then finally, we have Director Maxwell, who has some exciting news for our soccer team. And just right before it comes, Mayor and Council, again, happy holidays to each of you. Thanks for all that you do. And we're looking forward to celebrating the holiday season with you.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. On December the 7th and 8th, our U12 soccer team went and participated in the Generation Adidas Norcross Cup in Norcross, Georgia. There was pretty much a lot of scouts there. It was sponsored by Adidas. And at this moment, I want to congratulate and bring up all 2024 U12 champs. They won the championship.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
These young men dedicated their time for about 2 weeks out there in the cold practicing. It was cold early Saturday morning. Their first game was and we got the coaches here. Coaches got the trophy. Come on, both coaches. They got the trophy with them. They had teams. One, we was the only recreation team to participate. This was a tournament of clubs, soccer clubs from Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and North and South Carolina. And Forest Park came out on top. Once again, congratulations, parents. Thank y'all so much for dedicating y'all time. Coach Daniel, appreciate it so much for helping us out. And they would like, if y'all don't mind, they want to get a picture with you guys, if y'all don't mind.
Y'all,
Yeah.
one of those medals. Make me look good.
Y'all come on up. We'll do it right here in the front, okay?
What's up, Jan? Thank you, boys. Thank you. Thank you for making us proud, man. Thank you. Thank you. Good job. Good job, champ. Good job. Man, this is heavy, man. Well, good job. Congrats. What's up, man? How are you? Coach, you're the man. Shout out to you, Coach Brianna. Coach Bree, thank you so much. There in spirit. Then I said it to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And Mayor and Council, I was remiss. There are two additional employees that I failed to introduce. First is with Fire and Emergency Services, as well as some of our, so for fire, it's Miss Elaine Homer.
That's a separate presentation.
And then we also have with our constituent aide, Mr. Andre Walker, our newest constituent aide here with the city of Forest.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ms. Clark, I had two more that I didn't put on the list. Janiyah Davis and Tony Taylor. Janiyah is our paramedic. Tony Taylor is our FAO. Kaya.
Good evening. I'm Kaya West. I'm from Riverdale Fire Services. I've been here almost a month now. I'm gonna start by saying my mission statement. Mission statement is to ensure the safety of the community by providing the highest quality of service through preparedness, education, and action. And core values are professionalism, cooperation, dedication, and loyalty.
Awesome.
Good afternoon. I'm Tony Taylor, formerly at Battalion Chief at Riverdale. I've been over here about 6 months. Been doing fire about 27 years now. Glad to be here I'm glad to be here in Forest Park. All right. I'm very thankful for this young lady right here that gave me a second chance right here.
Awesome. Hello, I'm Janiyah Davis. I came from DeKalb. I have about 25 years of experience. And I looked up Chief Clemens and she kind of encouraged me to come to Forest Park. So I'm happy to be here. Welcome.
Good evening. My name's Elaine Comer. I'm a previous employee of the city of Forest Park. I have approximately 18 years experience here. It's been my home.
Hey.
I was blessed to have Chief Clemens that motivated me to come back to the city. Work with such a amazing professional organization. I just can't be, words just can't describe how thankful and blessed I am to be working with y'all again.
Awesome. Welcome.
Oh, he did this before, didn't he?
Awesome.
Okay. Okay, so thank you and welcome everyone. We are going to now officially do the city manager's report, and our very own chief of staff, Ms. Pauline Warrior, will give us the honors.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council, and thank you to our constituency present. Just a few things to review. Our city manager had to depart, so I'm serving in his stead. The city manager's report for the month of, thank you, for the month of November will reflect that we have been very busy at the city of Forest Park. And looking at our legislative corner here, when we look at constituent information, we have received nearly 20 calls from the community and have answered questions from our council aides office. The mayor has always been a stalwart elected official, and so she's been doing a lot in the community, from feeding the community to, of course, always participating with the reading club in Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 3. Ward 1, Ward 3, Ward 4, and Ward 5. There's been a lot of activity in the community, including turkey giveaways, of course, bingo nights, luncheons, and so many other events. These are a few executive office snapshots to let you know what's going on in the city of Forest Park and within our executive office. We participated just a few weeks ago at MARTA, and there are just so many events that are going on there. When we look at new business listings, our Economic Development Office has been very busy. It appears that we have almost 10 new businesses that we've been able to add to our economic development portfolio. And so for that, we're excited. And you see the distribution and representation of those by ward there. There was a Ward 4 tour at the Clorox facility that was facilitated by the Director of Economic Development, Director Williams, last month. And then when we look at operational excellence and operational efficiency and program management, we're working hard specifically with ensuring that the external partnerships within the community are well aligned to our strategic goals. Capital projects, Star Park renovation is still in place. There are a number of updates that we'll talk about at the beginning of next year, but please be comforted in knowing that the renovation is on our minds, as well as the proposed city center, which we're just so excited about, and looking at approximately 200,000 square foot building that we plan to occupy in the near future. As well as park monument signs, we're still working on those. And the Grapevine Business Incubator is another opportunity that we have been talking about that is still ongoing in terms of updates. The Forest Parkway Landscape Median is another opportunity that is an improvement along the median of Forest Parkway for our community. And as an update, the biggest concentration there is on obtaining the approval from the Georgia Department of Transportation for the design of that median. The pedestrian bridge feasibility study is still underway. And then as we look at the departments from the city clerk's office, just doing awesome things there with that office and ensuring that we maintain with code compliance. You just heard that we were able to add another member of the department there. So welcome again, sir. With economic development, projects and activities are ever outstanding, really too many to name. Always want to salute our director, Director Williams, and our Main Street project manager there, and Ms. Dennis. And then, of course, just another illustration of a celebration that we held in the city on last month. And looking at finance, it appears that the total overall revenue collected was a little over $1.1 million for the month of November. And we currently are in the process of implementing the budget platform. We anticipate achieving that in the next month with OpenGov. Our fire department continues to excel in terms of their performance as it relates to the number of fire responses. Last month alone, they responded to 200 calls and were able to inspect 81 records there. Okay, just kind of. In human resources, we are still looking at the wage and compensation study that is to be facilitated by our human resources department. And we had a wonderful Thanksgiving celebration with our employees last month. For our information technology department, it looks like in terms of metrics, there were almost 240 tickets opened and almost the same amount closed last month. with the average days to ticket closure being 2 days. So salute to the IT department and Director Cox for his leadership there. And then, of course, this just depicts members of our team that were able to attend the groundbreaking of the MARTA facility last month. With municipal court services, led by our administrator, Ms. Dorothy Roper Jackson. She continues to look at citations and go through the backlog, fingerprinting, and she continues to keep her pulse on the docket to manage that well. With planning and community development, then, looking at affiliate board meetings and the management of that, focusing on building plans and building permits that are issued, then that department is busy doing the work of the city there. Congratulations, of course, to Councilwoman Akins Wells on the annual turkey giveaway. Certainly salute there because under your leadership, Councilwoman, we were able to feed a lot of families. So thank you for that. Under the direction of Chief Chris and the Police Department and the Uniform Patrol Division, Special Operations Support Services, accident reports are maintaining at under 40, I believe, in terms of measures and metrics. And so we're continuing to ensure that we are well protected. So thank you, Chief Chris, for your leadership there. Mayor Butler, thank you so much for leading our annual Veterans Day program. That was definitely a success there. And with our Public Information Office that is managed by our Public Information Officer, Mr. Lloyd, then we continue to keep our pulse on media relations and ensuring that all of the community events are well managed. With Public Works, the Christmas parade and all of the events that are concepted by the city, Public Works has a hand in. So thank you to Mr. Watley and thank you to all of the Public Works employees for all that you do. And more pictures from the turkey giveaway. With Recreation and Leisure, thank you, Director Maxwell, just for showing up with ensuring that all of our leisure events are well managed, youth sports events, senior center, and all the community outreach that you do. And finally, this is how to reach the city of Forest Park by the electronic communications. And I will yield there. And unless there are any questions.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments? Councilwoman James?
Thank you.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Oh, thank you, Ms. Warrior.
Councilwoman Wells?
You just look so beautiful sitting up here. I'd rather have you sitting up here beside me than Mr. Close. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Councilman Mears?
Done a real good job.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our financial reporting of our fiscal year 2024-2025 monthly financial report. So our background and history. The Finance Department is presenting a fiscal year 2024-2025 monthly financial review of the city's financials. The purpose of the monthly financial review is to help us know how healthy the city's cash flow is and help evaluate department performance to see if the executive office needs to reallocate resources to achieve the financial goals of the city. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council,
Good evening.
and Ms. Pauline Warrior. Okay, I'll start with the first slide. First slide, this is the general fund for the month of November. Summary by category gives you a snapshot of the period ending 11/30/2024. The revenue was budgeted at 42.1. Our monthly take-in, I think the city manager mentioned this earlier, was $112,573. Our year-to-date actuals for the period of November was 24,000.2. Our expenses budgeted was for 42.1. Our monthly expenses, spending was 2.6. Year-to-date for the expenses is 14.4. Slide 2. Slide 2, this is a general fund by department, which gives you the budget to actual monthly spending and the percentage of the budget being used. This particular graph here shows the departments have only used 34% of the budget overall. Now, with that, we normally, if you take the 12 and divide it, right now we'll be at 42%. We're under that at 34%. So we're doing pretty good for the month of November. Slide 3. Slide 3, this is just a combination of all the other funds for November, just a summary table showing each of the other funds as far as special funds, splash, city authority, sanitation, as well as ARPA funds, just showing you the budget actual as far as revenue and expenditures. And on the last little note, talking with our outside auditors, we are definitely on track to get our audit in this year on time, so we'll be able to get our certificate, our budget award. So we're doing good with that. So we will, like everything is working like it's supposed to. And that concludes the report for the finance.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. The consent agenda, I know we approved it. We did approve the consent agenda. Oh, we adopted the consent agenda. Now, is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
Now, it's Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Now, it's Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes. Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Item 7, council approval of a board appointment. That would be Ms. J. Evans to the Downtown Development Authority. Is there a motion to approve such appointment?
So moved.
Now it's Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Now it's Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes.
Now, is there approval for the Clayton County Board of Election to conduct any and all elections for the city of Forest Park?
So moved.
Now it's Councilwoman James. Is there a second? Now it's Councilman Gutierrez. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Council approval to issue a call for the special election to fill the vacancy for Ward 2. And the qualifying period will be January 6th, 7th, and 8th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Hey, Jane?
January.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I second
That
that.
was Councilman Mears. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Council approval of a budget amendment for the general fund and special revenue.
I make a motion, we approve.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Item 11, council approval of an ordinance requiring city employees to resign upon qualifying for office.
So moved.
Okay, that was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
I second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
No.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And item 12, confirmation of our new Public Works Director, Mr. Alton Matthews.
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
A second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Ms. Hood, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
No.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Closing comments by the governing body. Councilwoman James.
Welcome to all of our new employees. Thank you so much for choosing the best city to work for. Congratulations again to the soccer team and congratulations to Director Maxwell. Thank you so much for expanding the visions of our young people out there. Want to remind everyone that we have our monthly ward meeting that takes place this Thursday at 5 o'clock. Mayor Butler will be hosting in my stead, right? I have 3 different things, so she's gonna take one and have 2 different things. And anyway, there's a lot going on, but come on out. We'll have some food from Kingston Grill for you. So 5 o'clock, be at 696 Main Street. Hear from what I call our experts in the city, our directors, that will tell you what's going on. They make us look good. They'll keep you informed and let you know what's happening in our city. So look forward to that. And if you're not able to make it, it's also on Zoom. You can catch it on the website and look at the recorded meetings that we have as well. And I believe, I believe that's it. So I don't think I will see you all again until the new year. So I will, unless you're coming to the ward meeting. Oh, no, I won't be there. So anyway, yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I wish you a very, very happy New Year, prosperous New Year. Get some rest, stay with your family, safe travels if you're traveling out of town, all that good stuff. So thank you so much, and we appreciate you all.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome to all the new employees, of course. Congratulations on the new appointment, Ms. Evans, with the board. And also just congratulations to our Forest Park team that won all those accolades. Usually those things are won by clubs, people, athletes from all around that come and, they call them pay to play academies. You have to pay money to be part of these academies. So, I am just extremely proud of our Parks and Rec team that they are getting this type of exposure here, our local athletes and young scholars. And I really, to echo what Dr. Falami said about being scholars, we got to make sure that they're hitting the books. So proud of them for that. My apologies on missing the last meeting. I had to attend some business back in my home country. And, sometimes I feel like we call it like foreigner stuff. Like I be walking barefoot outside and stepping on pine cones. Or I'll do my wife calls it immigrant things, where I'll do I don't know, I drink out the bottle from the fridge or some stuff like that. I don't know that she says that is, calls me names with that. But I felt like a foreigner when I went to Uruguay, and I miss Forest Park so much. Even though I enjoyed a lot of the things, this city's my home. So I missed all of you. I missed the Christmas tree there blocking Chief Chris where he sits over there, and laughs at the little videos from the fire department, and miss seeing everybody, and just was very worried about our city. So, my life's work is here, and I'm, just dedicated to my community. So even though it was nice, it's even nicer now to be back and seeing, our local team do good, the new people we have working for our city, and just the city manager report. So you miss all these little things. But anyway, with that being said, please reach out if you need anything. Make sure that you are spending these holidays with family. At the end of our days, what matters are these relationships and not all the material things. Don't stress about buying people things. Spending time with people, telling people you love them every day matters more than any of those things. And lastly, Director Maxwell texted me to make sure that everybody attends the Senior Legacy Holiday Ball. It's you have to be over a certain age to attend, but if you show up and we know you, we'll let you in the back door if you're trying to dance. But it's on December 20th at 6. at 696 in Main Street. So bring your dancing shoes and show up. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wells.
Yes, first I would like to send my heartfelt condolences, to my family that I married into. Miss Betty Edison passed away on yesterday, which was my husband's aunt. She's a lifelong resident, of Forest Park, been here all her life. I grew up with her kids, elementary school, middle school, high school, all that good stuff, and it was, sudden. So just want to send my condolences to the Ellison and Wells family. And welcome to our new employees. Think you've joined a great team. And I hope that you get out of Forest Park what you need to get out of Forest Park. So welcome, and blessings in your new positions. Last but not least, although sometimes I explain myself when I vote no, because I feel like I owe it to the people when I'm in opposition of something. And I just believe in fair chances when it comes to our employees that are here. Nothing against those coming in, but I just believe in giving them opportunities. And so when I've spoken on that, I'm not gonna shy away from that. And so that's the reason I voted no. And I also would like to receive information weeks in advance. If we're confirming somebody, I don't want to receive a resume the night that they're to be confirmed. And then last but not least, the policy on the qualifying thing, I get it. I would get it even more if it was from somebody else or at a different time, but I just don't believe an employee should, because they have an interest of running for any one of our seats, that they should have to quit their job. And I thought, and I'm gonna do some more research on it, that once you take the seat or once you have won that seat, then you step down. That's what I know a lot of counties to do. But I just wanted to show some pictures. Rodney, if you would pull up the pictures, what our jobs consist of. A lot of people, they see the events, the things that we do, they're not around when we get the complaints. And so this is definitely not Ward 4, because Ward 4 doesn't look like that. It's one of the cleanest in Forest Park. But this is actually Ward 1. One of the residents called to have some work done. And so these are the before pictures on O'Hare. I think it's O'Hare Drive. And after Public Works got through, it looks like a totally different street. So thank you to our Public Works Department that's always working effortlessly to beautify our community. And when I complain, because I complain a lot because the residents are complaining to me, and I'm not just a representative of Ward 4, I represent all of our wards. And so when it's things like this and you have people that see these things in the community and they want to take on the initiative to do right by the people that we serve, then I'm definitely for you keeping your job and running for office. So that's why I voted no. And let's keep Forest Park beautiful. Councilwoman James, have a good night.
Councilman Mears.
Well, I want to thank everybody that comes tonight. I want to thank our new city employee and the coaches and all the kids that won the trophy at the soccer. I want to always talk about Mr. Finch back there. He's a senior citizen, sexy senior citizen. He's always here. We always have to introduce him, make sure everybody knows he's here taking care of business. Been around a long time. But I thank the public work. I thank the fire. I thank the police. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and their New Year's was good to them and God bless them. And I like to see this crowd, and I like to see you come back every time. Thank you.
All right, thank you all for your comments. And 2025 is coming to, okay, thank you. So I think it was the last meeting, I had a 2 meetings ago, I had a proud mother moment, and the second video did not get to show. And so because Councilman Gutierrez is always asking me about it, we have it today, so I want you to watch. So for those of you who know, my baby, my heart, the reason why I breathe, received her private pilot's license. And so this is, yes, please, absolutely. If you only knew what she went through to get to this moment, it'll warm your heart even more. But this is her actually flying and landing in the plane. So that was her flight instructor. So in order to obtain your private license, there's a bunch of protocols and tests and stuff you have to go through. But one of them is that she had to do a few solo flights, and she has flown out of state. Like, it's been amazing. And I have never seen my baby more happier, I guess, than when she is in that cockpit. And so it just, again, oh, I'm starting to tear up. That is my baby. I'm so proud of her. But, oh, thank you guys. So 2025 is coming to a close. And when I tell you Forest Park, oh my God. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. I'm still
Speaking into existence.
2024. Yes, you guys could keep watching because it's just all spectacular. But 2024, as it is coming to a close, I cannot thank you guys enough for all of the hard work that you have done. When I say that you have truly laid the foundation for a prosperous 2025, that is an understatement. And in fact, all of the work that we have done is truly indicative of the progress that we have achieved thus far and the progress that we will continue to achieve as a municipality. And so all those that are coming into Forest Park, you could not have come at a better time. And I know I say it every time we get some new employees, but it is because it's true. And every time I go to meetings, I know some of you have the same report that Forest Park is being talked about on so many different platforms, but for the right reasons. And that's because of you. And so, we've said it before, you make it easy for us to sit up here to brag and boast on all of the great things that are going on in our city. And just know that as the new minimum increase for our salaries roll in, as the pensions roll in, as the initiative, the Leaf Life initiative kicks in officially, that we are really striving to make Forest Park a community that you're proud to work, proud to live, and proud to just come and spend your time and your money. But from the bottom of my heart, it has been an absolute honor to serve as your mayor during these progressive times, and I look forward to what 2025 has to offer. So on that note, this meeting is officially adjourned. Oh, yes.
I think it's very cool. Mr. Evans, I just want to acknowledge your comment about what you mentioned about the animals. I think, I'm going to really personally look into that because I think that's really important, especially we might even start a committee that you can be a part of because we need that involvement. So thank you for being our eyes on the street and bringing that to our attention.
This meeting is adjourned. See you in 2026, 2025. Oh my God, I'm skipping up.